It's Wednesday night, and that means it's time for round number 3 of the 2016 Season 2 Kia Cup here on Racespot TV, streaming live from iRacing Live from just outside of London, England. This is Brands Hatch in Kent. We're on the Indy layout, and our coverage on Racespot TV and on iRacing Live will start next.
I'm an engineer at iRacing. I put together vehicle models. Started earlier in the year with a partnership with Mazda and Long Road Racing Engineering, where they supplied us with access to the car data, access to their drivers to allow us to put together really high-level vehicle model, and it's turned out really well so far in the development stages.
These new MX-5s are incredible. Between the BF Goodrich tire and then all the suspension engineering that Long Road Racing and that Mazda has done, I've been very fortunate to be one of the lead development drivers for the new Global MX-5 Cup car. We've done a lot of R&D on not only suspension, but things that will not only improve the safety of the vehicle for racing, but also the longevity of it in a racing environment. A couple fun aspects have been for us, not only on the suspension development side, but the virtual world side with iRacing, actually mirroring some of the same, for instance, damper settings or brake pad changes that we've made for different compounds and such, and then we'll actually mirror that in iRacing. It's incredible to me how similar both when we're driving the car on the test day and then we're on the sim, that we're actually able to make changes in iRacing to the damper valving, and it correlates exactly to our findings on the racetrack.
It was quite interesting. It was sort of the first time in iRacing where we developed a car in the sim along with the manufacturer and a race team. Generally speaking, a team or a manufacturer will send us a data dump of information covering everything from tires to aero if the car is set up that way, all the mechanical bits. The big difference is those cars are generally already in production or already racing, and this go around it was essentially from scratch. When Long Road Racing received their cars, we started getting our first bits of data, and as they got more data, we got more data, and we were able to go back and forth in the sim and compare with how the car performs on the racetrack.
It's Wednesday night, and that means one thing. It is time for Kia Cup Racing here on RaceSpot TV, streaming live on iRacing Live, a part of RaceSpot TV Primetime. We're here just a couple of miles outside of London. This is Brands Hatch. This is Brands Hatch Indy, and tonight we are scheduled for another fantastic, fast and furious race as we continue this extraordinary Kia Cup season. Well, Vincent, along with Johnny Simone. You know what, Johnny? I was having a look at the schedule before this race. We've got another short track here at Brands Hatch. Then we head ourselves over to Phoenix on the road course in a week's time. Then, 2 weeks' time, we can do the complete opposite. We go to the longest track in the history of sim racing. That is the Nordschleife.
Well, it's good to see the Nordschleife with the Kias. Unexpected, but at the same time, you need to be diverse with your racetrack. So, you know, the more the better. You get to experience more, and you get to develop yourself as a driver too around different, more difficult racetracks too.
Well, here we can see then 73 degrees Fahrenheit. It's 68% race relative humidity. Wind speed of 11 kilometers an hour, 25 minutes worth of racing on this 1.9 kilometer circuit here today. Well, these guys in a moment's time will head themselves down to the starting grid for tonight's event. We have now got ourselves ample time to run through your starting grid for tonight's event. Here you can see it then up on your screen. Taliana Chvlisky there in the Club UK Island #1 car on pole position. Daniel Kraft alongside him, front row of the grid. And then Alexander Slemensky in third and Mikkel Shellback in the fourth position. We cycle on back here, Johnny. And there are, again, a lot of drivers very close. Top 5 drivers separated by just 1/10 of a second.
Yeah, short course as well. In the Kias too, a touring car, so the gaps are expected to be as close as they are now. And another diverse field as usual. Some familiar names as we saw earlier on in the season. We're going to have 90 seconds until the green flag here. So, I mean, nerves build up. You just prepare your strategy. 25 minutes of racing. Very straightforward race in the Kia. So, a few names down the order we must note. David Baker starting in 12th, so maybe not the best qualifying performance from him. Let's see if he can make his way up through the field. Yeah,
Baker is really going to have to push on. But of course, this is a classic BTCC track here today, and these guys will be hammer and tong every single corner of every single lap. There's the guy then on pole position as we get a look here from high above at Brands Hatch International. You'll notice there on the top left-hand corner of your screen. We're starting it just a little bit early, but April is Autism Awareness Month, and we here on RaceSpot TV are proud to sponsor and support autism awareness here through all of our broadcasts through the month of April. So the field is getting itself set to go. We've got 23 drivers here today ready to get themselves running here at Brands Hatch. And, well, we're now just waiting for one more driver. He is just about to take his place on the starting grid. 20 seconds or less until we go green flag racing here at Brands Hatch International. This is the Indy circuit. So it's shorter, it's fast, it is furious. That run down into Paddock Hill Bend will be fantastic. The race will be fantastic. Here we are then. Lights are on top of the iRacing.com gantry. Ladies and gentlemen, 25 laps of racing starts now, as the cars will storm down in towards turn number 1 for lap number 1 of this 25 minutes race. Side by side, almost already there for the race lead in towards that first corner, but it's going to be your pole position driver who will hang on in as they come down in towards that first corner. Second corner now for the first time behind. Well, this is where we expect a little bit of contact, a little bit of beating, a little bit of banging, a little bit of good old-fashioned BTCC style racing here, Johnny, as they all survive the first 3 corners.
Yeah, typical race start in the Kia, but here's Daniel Kraft who takes the lead, so he's snatched that away from Chiplevsky. That's a good start for Daniel Kraft. I don't think he's going to be able to run away unless Chiplevsky makes a mistake here. He's going to keep in the draft, but at the end of the first lap, it is Daniel Kraft who leads from pole sitter Chiplevsky.
So Kraft then will take that race lead away after 1 lap of this race being scored complete. Chiplevsky down in second, and a bit of a half-second gap to Slemensky, running himself in that third position. Hey, That ticker is running on the top of your screen, ready to boot now. Behind, you've got yourself some nice little scraps going on down in your pack as we have a look now on board with the driver of Benjamin Hackison there. Hey, American runs and Dunkin' Donuts there, Johnny.
Yeah, the same Dunkin' Donuts car we've seen all season. So yeah, he's down there in the 6th position. He's waiting for these cars in front who were battling at turn 1. It was Simon Field who went deep under braking. And right now, that's Smolensky, I think, who's taking a wide line through the final corner. He gets the run out of there too, so the most speed. And as they'll cross the line for another lap. God, this is such a short course. It's already lap 3 here. But this is a timed race, don't forget. We're not worried about laps. And Simon Field, I wouldn't count him out at the moment. He seems to be a bit aggressive at this stage of the race. Maybe he's trying to make his way up early.
Make positions early, then get yourself into a rhythm later on in this event. There's a gap between P1 and P2 right now. Daniel Kraft leads this motor race in that Champions of the Future number 8 machine. Behind, here comes Colin Cunniff then. He's right in the rear right now of the driver of Julian Gonovsky in that number 5 machine as they work themselves up. Well, they just basically passed the entire outfield section of this racetrack. There, Final Tech car just ahead. Colin Cunniff running himself in P number 11. And we've got some great battles going on here on track. Here's your movers and shakers. Oh, we've got a very slow car there. That is Andreas Sislands there. He's already scored a lap down, and he is falling and allowing all of these guys to go past on that outside line into Paddock Hill Bend.
Yeah, no word on what happened to him, but at least he got straight out of the way of the leaders and let them race cleanly. So good stuff for Andreas. Not so good for his race, but at least good to stay out of it. Now he's back in last position. It's a bit of an illusion because he's actually one lap down on the whole field. Apart from that, let's see if he can just trundle away and finish this race off cleanly. Battle for the lead still staying stagnant, unfortunately.
David Baker, though, in P number 12, we thought he was out of position. Well, he seems to be struggling. He's still stuck behind Colin Cunniff in that scrap for P number 11 right now, and he has not been able to make any inroads at all. Behind, side by side, Laura Bond, May Shrubix there, going side by side in the battle for P number 17. This is down towards the rear of your field, and we're on board now with the driver of Shaik as he's going to go round the outside of Laura Bond through Paddock Hill Bend. Here they come then in towards turn number 2, and Shaik should just be able to there take that line and have himself a good run into Green Hill Bend over Laura Barnes and stay side by side just for a minute in towards that 3rd corner on the 7th corner later. Laura Barnes bombs a wide there through Graham Hill Bend, and well, she now loses position to that number 9 machine of Jonathan Selby as they work themselves now down into the final 2 corners.
Yeah, not enough room for both of them to go through there. And I guess in the end, if they both keep the car straight, they carry on. That's the best sort of outcome in that situation. None of them are out of the race. They're all going to continue. So good, strong driving from Magic. He kept his cool. He kept his line. Laura tried to fight back at the same time. So good to see both of them fighting hard. At this point of the race, though, is Magic still defending there from Kip Stevens. So these guys have raced for a couple of times already. They know each other. And it seems that this, we were expecting it, but this Indy layout here at Brands Hatch really spices up the racing, especially in a Kia. And right now, this race isn't going to be over until the final minute. I will call it from here.
You know what? No one inside your top 10 has stayed in the same position since the green flag has dropped. Your big movers, well, that's Steve Hefford there in the number 15 machine. He's up 5 positions right now. We're going to go on board with him in towards Paddock Hill Bend. Turn number 1 on the number 15 machine, up 5 spots, looking to get more. That's David Baker ahead of him, side by side between Simmons and Haxon there, just ahead of them on track. Let's see that battle then, as they work themselves now down into Graham Hill Bend once again.
No, side by side. Oh, very close between the two. So there's Simmons right now. He's got that position, and Haxon will have to stay behind in that Dunkin' Donuts car. Now, that's how they maybe Sagovic and Bond could have made that corner. I think Magic maybe carried a lot more speed. It's one to argue about later on, not for now. But as Haxon will have the slipstream here on the straight, they're going to cross the line under 20 minutes remaining. So that's just an illusion. There's still plenty of time to go, but it looks like it's running down very, very quickly. And Haxon through the first corner here, Paddock Hill Bend, very nice, very, very fluid. But he just can't make his way past Simmons in front. Simmons runs wide on the apex. That could help.
Yeah, and now you can see Haxton right behind him as they work themselves now in towards Graham Hill Bend. Once again, turn number 3 on this racetrack. A good run by Haxton there, out of that corner, but you can't really pass the remainder of this racetrack. You flick it left, got the car down to 100 miles an hour, pretty much spot bang on, then send the car down all the way to 55, 60 miles an hour through the centre of the final corner. So it is as you head yourself out, now you can unleash that car as you come down past the start finish line. And it's a bit like Monaco here, actually, Johnny. You don't really have yourself an opportunity to breathe at this racetrack because you're always turning in some way, shape or form. As here comes Lipsky now, just 2 tenths of a second behind Daniel Kraft, and they're breaking away.
Yeah, tight racetrack, very, it looks short, but it's still complicated at the same time. The best way to get yourself around this Indy layout is to scrub as minimal speed as possible. It's not about how fast you can throttle out of the corners and all that kind of stuff. It's about keeping your minimum speed as high as you can through here, because the corners require that, you know, long radius to short radius, all that kind of stuff, and it makes sense in the end. I mean, if you want to prove me wrong, go ahead, but I guess really I've been proven wrong by other people, and they've shown me how you can make your way the fastest around this racetrack. And right now Chiplevsky needs to do that. He's still behind Daniel Kraft through Paddock Hill Bend once again, and Kraft uses a bit of that gravel. You're going to see that throughout this broadcast today. The drivers can get away with that. They don't lose too much speed using that part of the racetrack.
Did you say complicated?
About what part? I can't even remember what I said before.
You said complicated.
Oh, alright.
I know.
You don't even have copyright rights to use that music.
I know. We'll move on as quickly as we can. They can see Benjamin Haxman running himself still in P number 7 behind Colin Khan and Steve Hefford. They continue to scrap it out. Jonathan Selby with Mike Sullivan there for P number 18. P number 19. Got 8 then. Bottom of your screen as it stands right now. As Haxton, a good run off the final corner. He's going to go side by side in the battle then for position. And well, he will dance himself down to the inside, in towards turn 1. Well, DD car up into P6.
Yeah, that was good stuff there. He's Jay Adji behind. He's a bit too far. They're both on the radio. I don't know why. They're probably just congratulating each other on not making contact. But there you go. Haxton back up into the 6th position. Now he's got 2.6 seconds to make up to Smolensky in front. We always must note that the top 5 now, they're separated by 2.5 seconds, so basically half a second between each. If you find themselves battling side by side, all that kind of stuff, Haxton will see that 2.6 seconds can be made up easily if they start battling. So right now I'd be more concentrating on that, is to sort of make your way back up to the leaders, because you never know where you could place come the end of the race.
So what would you do then if you're in that position? Would you now just like hope, as we got ahead of them, these guys going side by side between Simon Field and Michael Shellback in towards turn number 2. They will head themselves. Do you hope they carry on doing this? Go side by side for 2, 3, 4, 5 corners in a row? Or do you just run your own race?
Well, that's the theme right now. They've already lost 2 tenths from that small little fight. It's now 2.5, 2.6 to Haxton. So around about the same, but they're racing drivers. Well, they're not going to want to run their own race. They're not teammates. You know, and I remember when we covered Champions of the Future in these Kias, we saw a lot of the drivers up front, like Michael Hall and Ashley Sutton, the 2 teammates. They still battle, even though there's a bit of contact here.
Yeah, that's going to create almost a 3-wide situation. They head themselves in towards turn number 2. That was Simon Field running all over the rear of Michael Shellback in towards turn number 1. Paddock Hill Bend. Another look then from up above as they exited the final corner. And well, we talk about beating and batting in BTCC races. Johnny, they just did it.
Yeah, he kept the car straight though. That's the main key. Good car control. In that type of cambered corner, it's going to be easy to keep the car straight anyway. But, they're getting feisty now after that tap. I think Shellback, maybe he can't return the favor to Simon Field behind, but he can at least do the same to Smolensky. Look at the aggressive defensive driving. That's all legal. He only changed his line once. And Field getting very close once again to Shellback. No contact this time around. But I spoke about it before, yeah, like sometimes if your teammates, they still fight, it doesn't matter, you still want the win so much. But now the guys in 6th position, Haxton, the gap's closed down to 1.6, so this is benefiting him greatly. But the top 2, they've broken away by 3.2 seconds.
Yeah, it's worth noting, just have a look at the last lap times there. 46.4 last time by for some of these drivers. And, well, it's fascinating. 1 second they took out that last lap here. So you're really looking at 48.5 last time by Simon Field and 47.5 for Benjamin Haxon. You'll see as they cross the start finish line what their lap times are going to be again. On the left-hand side of your screen, you know that 47.8 and a 47.6 there for Haxon. Haxon's now closed that gap to 1.2 seconds here. And just over 11 minutes of this motor race have gone. That gap is coming down. It's now going to be a 4-5 horse race down from positions number 5 through to positions number 10, 11, 12 on track. Look at that trolley train going on right now.
The trolley train, always a famous one in motor racing in Formula 1. Field and Shellback here on the entrance to the Clark Curve last lap around. We're side by side, literally making contact too. Amazing stuff. And we're seeing some beauty at its hands right now. This is proper racing. There's contact, there's a bit of bad blood, bit of good racing as Field has a look up the inside. He's a bit too far behind, and Shellback closes the door, greatly so. But here's Field trying to find his way back up the inside. Look at the aggressive defending from Shellback. So Field has to change his line back around to the outside, gives him a little tap as well to say, hey, what are you doing with that aggressive defending? But it's all legal, and they're going to continue on through this tight racetrack.
Hey, I just met you and this is crazy, but this is my race car. Don't hit me, baby.
Yeah, that's a good good parody there. That was not a bad song. I didn't mind that song. It was annoying, but hey, it was a good song. That's all I'm going to say. I don't know why I'm talking.
Have a look at David Baker in P number 11. He's currently 8.5 seconds behind the race leader. So it shows just how close this field is. Is Baker right on the rear there of Janowski as they come down in towards one once again. Nice scrap we've got going on. Battle for P number 10 as here comes Baker. Fantastic run out of Paddock Hill Bend. He looks himself down to the inside, and well, this one should be secure for Baker as they'll go too wide in towards turn number 2. And the answer to that question is going to be, let's stay side by side for just one more corner. But now it looks as though, no, not just yet. They're turned around. Here's David Baker, and he's going to lose himself forward position. As a consequence there, Baker, well, he tried the outside line. Second time in a row, it didn't work.
Yeah, not the best race for him now. He probably hasn't practiced that much. Maybe he's just struggling. There's a lot of possibilities, but in the end, at least he's kept the car straight. As I always mention, that's the main key. If someone touches you, don't lose mental control of yourself because somebody caused contact. Yes, it's not your fault, but there's still a race at hand. So now he's only lost, they did a 49.2 that lap, basically lost around a second, you could say. And he's still trying to fight his way past Steve Hefford. And we've seen these two races well against each other in the past. So once again, Baker would have to find the best way to make his way through. Maybe not the same corner he had contact with. That's going to be very, very tight. But you're looking at the entrance into that Clark Curve, or maybe just get a run onto the main straight here. There's a lot of possibilities. Let's see where Baker likes to attack.
You know what, I just looked here again at the live updates, and it seems to me that your top 5 has settled itself out just a little bit more. The top 5, the only people to move up or down a position is P1, then P2. They switched it around. We have done 18 laps of this motor race already. On board again with David Baker in towards turn number 1. Now, I actually once commentated a 165 lap race here, Johnny, in an IndyCar, thinking this would take forever. It took about an hour and a half, and it was just crazy. And well, we've still got this 4-horse train going on right now between Janowski, Hefford, Baker and Cunniff. It will seem to be whoever's second in line coming to the last lap will be the beneficiary.
Yeah, definitely. Who decided to pick this layout for the IndyCar? I'm not, I'm not criticizing.
They ran here in the Champ Car World Series. Sorry, the Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series powered by Ford in 2004, I think it was.
Oh man, there's so many names in that one name. I don't know what the series is anymore. But in the end, it is. I like that there should be more races on these types of tracks, the Indy layout at Brands Hatch, with as many cars as you can fit on. That's the entertaining stuff. It would be intense, but it teaches drivers racecraft, and it's really fun at the same time too. So I think maybe we should hold an event like that in the future. Anyway, less than 10 minutes to go in this event. Baker still can't make his way past Hefford. But at the moment, Hefford's being held up by Janowski in front in P10. So who's going to end up in the bottom end of the top 10 is the question here.
Well, there we see a couple of guys going through turn number 1 right now. It is fascinating, though, to note the extremities that these drivers really push their race car on this track. And now you battle for the race lead. Kraft versus Trubleski down to 0.2 of a second. We're on board with P number 2. That's the driver who, of course, qualified on pole position in the number 1 Club UK Island car. Winning himself in second place. Daniel Kraft, though, in the number 8 UK Island car, has led every single lap, all 20 of this motor race. And while these two guys now a 4-second advantage over P3.
You notice at the moment, Daniel Kraft, he's really using some wide lines, and yeah, maybe it's sometimes he's on the grass or whatever, or that kind of stuff, and maybe Chiplevsky's got the slipstream to keep him in touch with P1, but it just seems to me, at least, he's scrubbing off minimal speed doing that, and Chiplevsky's taking much tighter lines. But I guess at this stage of the race it doesn't matter, because Chiplevsky just needs that draft, and it's helping him. He needs to try something. Maybe he could bump Kraft out of the way, and that's all legal to do, only a little bit of a bump, but it's something that he's playing with fire now. He's trying to do that, but look, once again, see, Kraft tries to use a bit of that outside curb. Chiplevsky just takes such tight lines, and I think he's noticed that now. He's taking a bit wider lines now, just to scrub off less speed and catch up to Daniel Kraft in front a little bit more. Not that he can get any closer.
I'll tell you one thing, though, that this battle behind is still absolutely fantastic. This is for P10, 11, 12, 13 on track. Behind, ahead of actually Shellback versus Field. They are nose to tail in towards turn number 1. We have a look at them from the rear of the driver for just 1 second of Shellback. Here comes Field to the outside in towards turn number 1, and he will have to fall in line just for the time being, but that may well give him the inside line. He's going to take the outside line instead in towards turn number 2. These guys are doing fantastic racing, and that's allowed the DD car to fall right into line right now. Look at the way that these guys are just going at it. This is now for P3, 4, 5, 6 on track, and well, it's worth noting that Shimensky's pulled away. Behind them, P4 through 6, they've given up on trying to see whether they can get a podium.
Yeah, it might be out of the question here. Smolensky probably has one hand on that third place podium trophy. Once again, they're going to go on this front straight. Again, beginning another lap. And look at the defensive. Shellback's been really aggressive this race defending. And was that a little bit of a tap? It was very close between Field and Shellback. So yes, it was, as Will says. And once again, look, Shellback, he just loves that inside line. Field, he can't risk, well, as I say that, he does risk breaking deep around the outside, and it works out really well for him here.
As they come down into Graham Hill Bend, then turn, and the number 2 machine going to be a little bit wide there. Does the number 2 car, but they're going to stay side by side into this very fast left, right flick here on the DD car there. Almost getting turned sideways. Oh, it's going to be the driver of Simon Field there, who just gets pushed off. 4 positions lost as a consequence.
Oh, well, I'm not sure if there was contact there. It seemed to be with Shellback and Field. I might be wrong, but in the end, let's concentrate on whether Shellback can keep Haxon here behind in that Dunkin' Donuts car. They're going to be side by side. Well, not anymore. He's going to tuck in, use the inside line. He has to watch out for Shellback going to the inside line. There we go. Can he try and break around the outside like Field did last time around? He has to watch out, though, that Simmons could take advantage of that inside line if it doesn't work out for him. So there's a lot of dilemmas to practice here, but Haxon in the Dunkin' Donuts car can't make his way past. You know, if Haxon can use Dunkin' Donuts as a sponsor, we can use any form of music here without any copyright differences. Anyway, that's a conversation for another day. Yeah, like that. We should be allowed to use that. If he can use Dunkin' Donuts. Anyway, back to the racing here. 5 minutes to go. It's heating up.
It is indeed, as we're looking there at Benjamin Haxon in that DD car. He's going to go to the outside, in towards turn number 1, over the Afalitech number 2 machine. Let's go then on board with that driver of Benjamin Haxon. We're on board cameras here today. He's not going to be close enough as they head themselves down into 2. Once again, this is a fantastic, absolutely fantastic 5-car scrap going on right now. P4 through P8. Kraft leads this motor race. Yeah, he is only a quarter of a second ahead right now of Shepleski, but Shepleski hasn't been able to do a single thing in this race. And Johnny, I will have to say this, as it's WrestleMania week, I can do this.
John Cena. Well, while you do that, actually, David Baker's got a bit of contact here. Keeps it together. God, this battle is so intense. And now Colin Cunniff's going to make his way through. That battle for the bottom end of the top 10, I'll tell you what, is as entertaining as that one for P4, 5 and 6 we've been watching. But David Baker's been good, bad, everywhere today. He's been in all good and bad incidents, and right now I think he just wants to get this race over and done with, and he doesn't want to risk damaging that Kia anymore. It's literally, he's got the inside line here into the first corner, or into the second corner, excuse me, and Cunniff, can he keep up the inside line? I think he might. David Baker's going to brake later on the outside, but it's not going to have enough room to maintain the speed. And I talked about scrubbing off minimal speed. There you go. That's one of the keys to this racetrack, as I said.
Yeah, and Baker actually almost lost a position there. In fact, he did lose a position to Luis Silveira as a consequence of that. And did I just see Baker turned around down in towards that corner? I think I may well have done so. We just lost our cameras at the most important part of this race so far. But let's have a look then in real time from up above. We'll show you what happened, because while Baker had himself the outside line, he pushed wide, lost a position to Cunniff there, just always tapped in. There comes the number 4 machine, and look at that one. Wow, this is fantastic racing here, Johnny, as Baker loses the position, and then he almost gets, he does tag there, and he gets tagged himself there, behind, too wide behind him, CQR car on the inside, number 19 car, Kip Stevens. Where did Stevens come from?
Yeah, the close quarters racing car there, and he's made his way through, so Kip Stevens in the end though, he couldn't actually, no, he couldn't make his way past David Baker and cement that position, but what such a battle there. And the same can be said for that battle for P4, 5 and 6. Paxson very close here to Shellback once again into turn 1. They both learnt from each other because, oh, bit of contact as well with Simon Field behind. Very, very scruffy between these guys.
Yeah, we're on board now with Simon Field as he's going to try and work around the outside. He tried this before. He's not made it work. He loses another position to George Simmons. So Simon Field does not like the outside line. And here's the thing as a racing driver. You see it once, you'll attack it, you'll attack it, you'll attack it.
Yeah, and that's the problem as well sometimes people have with racing drivers. I'm really enjoying watching Simon Field here, but some drivers will hate that because he's over-aggressive. I just think drivers have their tendencies, and I think people should leave the drivers alone and just let them race. And yeah, you do have to eliminate ultra-aggression, but who knows what I'm talking about anyway. I don't know if I know what I'm talking about, so let's move on.
You always know what you're talking about, Johnny.
No, never. So anyway, George Simmons here in P6 mustn't be taken away. He has had a good, consistent race, and he's still going to maybe earn a top 6 finish out of it, hopefully.
Yeah, so here we are then. We're just having a look at the statistics for the driver of Field. Well, down 2 places from where he started in this motor race. That last lap was not good for him. We won't see the white flag this time by. We've got 2 laps left of this motor race to go. And your battle out front is Daniel Kraft versus Sapleski. 1.5 laps to go, Johnny.
Look at this, 2/10 the gap, and I told you this race wasn't going to be over until the final seconds because Kraft and Chiplevsky, 2 of the good, greatest racers in the Kia car here, the Kia Cup. So Kraft's led every single lap of this race, we mustn't forget. But now as they'll cross the line, it will be the final lap, and maybe we'll see Daniel Kraft succumbing to the pressure finally of Chiplevsky. Won't be the first time. Remember Marcus Ambrose in NASCAR did something similar in the final corner at Montreal. Let's see if Kraft can keep Chiplevsky behind here.
Well, here we come then. Final lap of this motor race. 23 seconds on the play clock. The white flag is out. There is 1 more lap to go. It may well even be a big late move in towards turn number 2. We have a look then from high above. This is Shabletsky's best chance. Down into the inside. In towards turn number 2. No, not going to happen. So now it will have to be a very bold maneuver. Maybe it'll be a bit of a bump and run through the S in towards the start finish line. But Daniel Kraft still leads this motor race. Chapletsky in second place. The time has expired. This is the final lap of this motor race. It's Kraft from Chapletsky, then Shlomensky there. They're your top 3. Here they come then. Down towards 30's final time in this motor race. Daniel Kraft. Lap traffic is not going to hinder him. In fact, it might help him a little bit. Towards start finish line. Daniel Kraft will win round 3 of the Kia Cup from Brands Hatch, Johnny.
What a race. What an incredible race. Kraft, well-deserved win, led every single lap, and he didn't even start on pole position, so he stole that lead into the first corner. Now, they sometimes say you don't win the race at turn 1. Well, yeah, that's true, but sometimes you can, and sometimes if you get that position, I know it sounds funny, but it's true. I mean, yeah, you have to be patient into the first corner, but sometimes if that's your only chance of leading the whole race, you might as well take it. So good stuff from Daniel Kraft. Chiplevsky, he's been strong all series. There's a reason why he's the #1 driver out there, because he is strong. And Smolensky, a podium for him. Nice job, 5.8 seconds behind. So as they all enter the pits after a little bit of a parade lap, I guess they need a little bit of a breather after that quick sprint 25-minute race.
Yep. We get our race results up?
For sure.
There we are. Let's have a look then. Final race results here from Brands Hatch International, and Daniel Kraft wins out here at this race here today. Give me 1 second. We need to do that. There we are. As Kraft will win, Chapletsky in second. Then third place you'll see is Alexander Szymanski. Then is Mikhail Slotbach. And there is going to be the rest of your top 10 up on your screen as it stands right now. The DD car coming home in 5. Then Simmons Field all the way down to P7. Actually, almost got pipped to the line there by Jay Addy. Pete Newman in 9th. We didn't even mention Pete Newman car at all. He's been running in no man's land. He ran in 9th. And then Steve Hefford rounds out your top 10. Remainder of your field coming up on your screen right about now. Johnny, I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah.
We're 1/3 of the way into this Race Spot Primetime segment. And, of course,
yes.
one quarter of the way even. I have to be, factually correct. And there were some who said that, maybe we should have gone the GT1 world. Maybe we should have gone down the Sprint GT world. I will say one thing. This has been a very entertaining season to date.
No, you can't see it. I'm shaking my head, but... I mean, of course there's going to be people who say that. Not everybody voted for the Kia Cup. And nobody who supports the Kia Cup is going to say, oh, I like this, we should keep... What's the point of saying... There's no point. The Kia Cup people have got what they want. They're not going to say anything. Of course you're going to hear criticism from other people, but that's just life, All forms of every single racing we have is great. I don't know what else I can say. I guess in the end... we got what we deserve, and the fans should get what they deserve too, but it's not going to be equal for everyone out there.
It won't be. I will say one thing though. This track has brought us, in my opinion, some reminiscing moments of what we had when we did Champions of the Future about a year ago now on RaceSpot TV. It's good to have the Kia Cup back. And of course, next time out, they go even crazier. They go to Phoenix. To the road course, thankfully, but they go to Phoenix.
Yeah, and another good race. I'm looking more... I like Phoenix. It's going to be good, but the Nürburgring is interesting. Is that actually the full layout at the Nürburgring?
It's the Industrialazen version. So if I remember correctly, that is ultra long version.
Ultra long. So 25 minutes... What's that going to be? 2 laps?
Three laps? Maybe you might get 4 in if someone does a blister. Well, no, it might well be 4 laps. Because if you can do a lap here, you can get this car wheeling on this track in less than 8 minutes. I mean, if Sabine Schmidt can do a Ford Transit in just over 10, I think we can do a Kia, which is tuned for racing, in less than 8. So, yeah, let's say 4-lap race out in Nordschleife. It's going to be fun in 2 weeks' time, because I've never actually ever commentated race at the Nordschleife.
No, neither have I. It will be a first for us both. We'll both lose something there. And, if someone crosses the line with 10 seconds to go and we get another lap in, I'm going to enjoy that. Let's see how it pans out.
I'll tell you one thing. A couple of cherries will be in order in a couple of weeks' time. But first, in a week's time, we head ourselves to Phoenix for round number 4 of the championship. It will be here on RaceSpot TV, streaming live on iRacing Live. But Johnny,
yeah,
what are you going to do without me?
I don't know. You're not going to be here for
as it stands. I might be here.
Well, good. I need you. I don't know what I'm going to do on my own. We're gonna find someone to fill in, or else I'm gonna have to cover the series on its own. But hey, the drivers are still gonna do what they do best. And that's race hard. And to be honest, I was gonna say vote for driver of the day before, but I guess you can't really, because if you can produce entertainment, I think you should be given credit. Good entertainment, that is, not funny entertainment and bad one. And these drivers just been excellent today. So anyway.
Well, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for being a part of our coverage here tonight on Racesport TV, a part of Racesport TV Primetime, streaming live, of course, on iRacing Live. Tomorrow night, it is the European Mazda MX-5 Championship. Friday night, it's the first of 2 races now on Racesport TV from the Formula Renault 2.0 Championship. Saturday, we will take you into the world of the iRacing World Championship Grand Prix Series. It'll be round number 4. It's going to be at the 4-mile-long Road America. And whoever wins this race will put themselves into pole position in terms of heading themselves for the championship. Road America is a critical race. It's like certain primaries in the US presidential election. You circle it, you make sure you win it. That will be 1:30 p.m. on Saturday here on Racesport TV. And of course, on iRacing Live. Sunday, we've got ourselves more Formula Renault action, and also we've got ourselves Sunday Night Skippies, and then Monday, V8, and Monday Night Skippies. And then, of course, we've got ourselves NASCAR Race Night on Tuesday. There is your next 7 nights worth of action here on Racesport TV. Will Vincent, Johnny Simone, peace out. We'll see you all next time. Adios.